Hi guys, Marshall here with this week's Q&A. So we don't have any participants yet. If people show up, we'll get them involved. But for now, I'm going to just jump in and we're going to get this taken care of. So I've got 4 things I want to talk about today. The first one is how to deal with resistance. The second one would be how to love ourselves. The third one is feeling your feelings. And the third one is getting used to being seen. Okay, so fourth one is getting seen. So resistance. Do you find yourself fighting against things, denying them, trying to control them, or force them to be something they're not? You're trying to make someone else change or a situation change that's outside of your power? Do you find yourself denying what you feel or ignoring what's happening or running away from it? You feel like a lot of tension in your body and like frustration in your thought. These are all symptoms of resistance. And resistance shows up in 2 basic ways. We've got denial, like I don't want that to exist, and attachment. I want to keep this, I want to hoard it, I want to control it. And both of these attributes of resistance are resolved by the same approach, okay? And that is the flow method. Understand what's happening, understand the situation, understand how you feel about it. Accept what's happening and accept how you feel about it. And then allow what's happening to happen or to have happened. And then allow yourself to feel what you do. What this does is it sets us up for release. What release does is it makes space for whatever's going on, and then we can move through it. Resistance is obviously the opposite of release. And resistance shows up because we're scared. Resistance shows up because we don't want to deal with it. Maybe we're tired. Resistance shows up because we have shame or we feel guilt about it. That's all okay. Because if that's what you feel about it, that's what you do. So let's say you have a situation going on and you feel shame about it. So you understand the situation, you understand you feel shame about it. You accept the situation and you accept that you feel shame about it. You allow the situation to be, and you allow that you feel shame about it. Notice how I phrase that. Allow that you feel shame about it, not allow yourself to feel shame about it. You're already feeling shame about it, so I'm not telling you to feel shame about it, but I'm saying you accept that that's what you feel about it. And you can just observe it. You can create space for it, and then you can move through the healing process. A lot of times just doing that can release that tension, can release that resistance, and connect you back to you. So that's how we deal with resistance. The resistance is going to show up in everything in your life at some point. And it's a signal that you're trying to either control or deny something. Then just get back into flow. See how that works for you. Okay, let's see. So loving yourself. Loving yourself really comes down to acceptance, to embracing what we feel, and to letting go of judgment or story about what we feel. It's being willing to feel our emotions without judging them, without trying to fix them, and without trying to control them. But it's really about allowing them. Allowing ourselves then ties into affirming ourselves, liking ourselves, being connected with ourselves. This is an in-body experience. This isn't up here in the head so much, but it's here in our sensations in the body and in the present moment. So loving ourselves has a lot of components that can come into play with creating the result of feeling love for ourselves, because that's ultimately what it is. Feeling love for ourselves is a result of a lot of other factors in play. That's nurture, that's respect, that's accountability and healthy discipline, and that is being compassionate and kind with ourselves, honoring our pain, honoring our goodness, and nurturing our emotions, our dreams, our hopes, believing in our worth, believing in our ability, trusting in our worth, trusting in our ability, trusting in that we're trustworthy, that we can depend on ourselves. And that's where the accountability comes in. If we're going to trust ourselves, we're going to have some accountability. Like, I'm disappointed in this, or I'm frustrated that I did this. And we can change it, because this helps us trust ourselves more. This requires us to do investment in ourselves. This requires us to do difficult things. But loving ourselves isn't about it's not about the flowers. I've got an itch right there. It's not about the bliss and the rainbows and the happy moments. It's about how we treat ourselves when there's shit in our lives, when there's difficulty in our lives, when things are frustrating for us, when they hurt. How do we respond to our pain? Are we responding with kindness and warmth, compassion? Do we include ourselves in the world of being loved despite our pain or even in our pain? We're going to have empathy with ourselves. We're going to respect who we are. This is where love shows up. It's not the flowers. It's in the difficulty. It's in the fertilizer. It's in the shit. So it requires a number of different factors to be operating in it. But if you want to love yourself, it all starts with coming down to honoring your pain. And then honoring your goodness, your nature, and your happiness, your differentness, and praising and appreciating your value and allowing yourself to feel that. All right, so feeling your feelings. This gets back to that first topic of resistance. If you're in resistance, feel it, because it's in an embodied experience. It's tension in the body. It's frustration in the body. So learn to listen to that. Learn to connect with that. And just take 5 minutes a day and check in with your body to see how it feels. And write down what it feels. Doing that alone is going to wake you up to feeling your feelings. So that's a practice that's deliberate. That's a practice that's got to be honed in. And the more you pay attention to your body sensations, the more you're going to understand what you feel. So that's how you feel your feelings. As you tune into your body, you get present. Make space for them. Using the flow method can do that for you too. So understand and accept and allow whatever's present in your physical body. Go with it. All right, now the last question, getting used to being seen. Being seen can have, growing up, it usually led to being used, criticized, attacked, diminished, denied, or ignored. So we don't have often a very happy or healthy experience with being seen. And so we first need to address what being seen felt like for us, what the wounds are, what the pain is, what the assumptions are that we live with being seen, what our fears are about it. And then we can start, if we start working those things out, we can get used to being seen, period. Because being seen produces two things. We're going to get rejected and we're going to get accepted. Now, rejection can show up as indifference, being ignored, or it could be criticism, it could be an attack, it could be a judgment. And our relationship to rejection is what keeps us hidden. Well, that's one half of it. The other half is really our relationship to being accepted and what we think it means for us, what we think it requires of us to be accepted. So if I'm accepted by somebody, do I need to please them constantly? Do I need to make sure I don't upset them or disappoint them? Do I somehow need to work to keep their acceptance by controlling things through pleasing, fixing, caretaking, rescuing, things like that? So that's kind of our quandary there, because we're stuck in a codependent maze when we do that. Well, getting out of that and allowing ourselves to be seen means I'm okay being rejected for being me, and I'm okay being accepted for being me. Because notice there's one consistent factor in this. It's being me. So when you're yourself, there's nothing to control, there's nothing to evaluate, there's nothing to resist or worry about, because you're already doing your job. You show up as you, especially your loving, healthy, strong, confident you're going to attract the right people. You're going to get rejected by the right people too. They're both right, meaning the people who say no to you, they're going where they fit right for you. And the people who say yes to you or want you in your life are coming into your life in the right way too. So rejection works for us in that respect. So fundamentally, getting used to being seen is getting used to being accepted and rejected for whatever way it works. Yeah, that's going to be upstairs. So that's how we do it. That's how we work it. So if you guys have any other questions, feel free to ask them below in the comments, like and share. And then we'll see you next week in next week's Q&A. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.